unbelievably good, that grip and arm position. Really good. Yeah, this, I think, do you know when you get a high level of performance out of something that maybe starts in a position where you're aiming right or aiming left, and then you do so much practice and you get good at it, you create stuff that's harder to change, or that just takes more time to change, and you have to be more uncomfortable to change it. So massively, massively different there in a short space of time. And to be honest, I'm not needing to say anything there. If you were to jump up and make a practice swing here, so square off to that centre line, as if the ball was positioned, basically, it would be positioned there, so square the club. Now this is a very shallow arc, 12 degrees of arc is not much curvature at all.
That's why I can't hit those balls.
You probably will, but the idea would be, they're going to feel massively in your way.
Yeah.
How do we get them out of your way? Well, arms stay with the body, that right arm stays kind of really tucked, and you turn your chest as you do already. You make the right move with your torso, you've got to stop the separation. Do it very slowly to start with. How different?
That's ridiculous. It was all the way through, I thought I'm going to clip the ball.
Okay.
Kind of had to like almost help it to get out of it.
Good. Right, now take that exact same feel. Remember, it doesn't matter where this goes, so total freedom in kind of ball direction and everything else, just trying to deliver that same feeling. You turn, club travels in, and you just let it go. That was brilliant going back. That was really good going back. I think you did kind of come in front and over a little bit to the left. You would have hit, basically you'd have hit the heel golf balls, but I'm not having it, you'd have hit those ones on the right. I think you nailed that. That was brilliant. Right, back in 1 or 2 rehearsals, and then maybe almost on this next one when you hit the ball, like a feeling of what space the head is going to travel into, so it's going to travel here and then kind of down the line a little bit, like that feeling you had when you first changed your grip. You've got a project on your hands here, haven't you, Fred? Is this more changed than you thought?
No, in the videos like I made recently, I was actually saying how worried I was about what you were going to say. I was like...
Well, what I would say is you've got great rhythm and tempo, and you've got really good functioning kind of torso and probably like body movement, and very well balanced, and they're important characteristics.
They're hard to teach.
We're going to throw the rhythm off a little bit,
yeah,
or we can build that back up. But actually, hand and arm movement relative to your aim, it kind of worked. So it doesn't surprise me that that's a decent functioning punch stroke. But how much better we can get these lines, and then how much more aggressive I think you could be, and how much better the ball roll.
Yeah,
I'd see it as a mega opportunity.
I think the biggest thing is going to be going on the course having the confidence that like this is how I show up.
Yeah.
I step up to a pot and I'm like, I've taught myself to pot. I don't even know if it's right.
Yeah.
I'm just rhythm, like just consistency. That's it.
Yeah.
I think the fact that professionals saying this is the way to do it, and that will give me a lot of confidence as well.
Well, we just need to shift it over time, don't we? Yeah. On the course, it might revert back, you might come across it a little bit, but if we can narrow those things down a little bit, you get some better performance out of it in the short term. I thought that was pretty impressive. Again, didn't look as exaggerated. Left, and there was definitely the right kind of shape starting to appear. Oh, definitely, that was brilliant. That was really good. Half a degree left. Very good. Yeah, love that.
it's a bit more straight up, straight down. Really.
I think it's fantastic though, that, yeah.
It's completely different to the out and then really.
Yeah, that, well, yeah, if you can deliver that fairly consistently, yeah, you'd be more than happy.
Okay, so down the line after all my differences. So as you can see, my grip's completely changed. My club is now standing a lot more upright as opposed to the toe being up like it was in the past. And it just looks a completely different swing. I will try to show them side by side. They're just astronomical distances apart. they're just completely different. So we changed the grip, we changed the setup to it, and we also changed the arc and path and some kind of swing thoughts and tendencies whilst I was putting. So the idea here is to get the club perfectly matched with my forearms and kind of drawing a line straight the way through, as straight as possible. And basically I'm trying to get that club feeling like it is a part of my arms. Next, I've got my elbows tucked into my rib cage, so they're not necessarily pressing on my rib cage, but they're tucked in to the point where I can feel them against my rib cage. They're a lot more into my body and a lot more under control. My grip is completely different, so I got my finger down the club like so, and my clubs are a lot more kind of a prayer style, but not a prayer grip as you would associate in putting, but kind of that the palms are facing each other on either side of the grip. If we look at the swing now, I still on this particular putter stroke that you see, I still take it back ever so slightly, but it's nowhere near as bad. So I take it on the outside of the line to start with, and I come a lot more from like the inside and a lot straighter, and then go left towards the end as it should. So if we have a look again, but it's a lot more tamer. Now obviously this is immediately after the things I've been told. This is it's very difficult to put these things straight into practice, but instantly you can already see how it's made such a difference to the original one. So if I bring these in as a side by side, if I bring this back to the start, as mentioned, the club straight through my wrists here in the wonkiest line you've ever seen. Here the toe is pointing very high up in the sky, so the club face is sitting like that. On this one, the club is nowhere near my elbows. There's quite a large angle in between there. Then this is all just dead space, and there's separation between my arms and the club. You can see here there's quite a bit of daylight here in between my elbow and hip, whereas on this one on the left you can see there's hardly any daylight in here now, because my elbows are tucked into my body as opposed to just almost chicken winging out. Grip is completely different. They're completely different styles. It's a lot more, this is more of a putter grip as you would Stanley associate. This is essentially just a full swing putter grip that full swing club grip, sorry, that I've put straight into putter practice, which is obviously not the best way. If we take a look at the two going back, this one nowhere near as much going back out that way. It still has a little bit, but it's nowhere near as bad. Where this one, the first move is always to take it out that way and then come looping back. As I come through, everything is always going this way, and on the one on the left I'm trying to hold it off a lot more in that direction. Now I'm not trying to feel like I go this way, I'm just trying to feel like I go towards the target line for longer. The club will naturally come this way, but not in a diagonal motion, which is what I originally do. So let's have a look at some more face on. Again, the main focus here is getting those arms tucked into my ribs, the club more upright and in the same position. Now we didn't focus too much on that head position that I mentioned. We were more focusing on the setup and stance and club grip and the way it was set up to the ball, and then perhaps these things may correct themselves, which we'll have a look at in a minute. So the biggest thing to note here is just that section in here, how tight I am into there, and also how much room I've got in here. If we compare this to if you note how much space there is in here and how much of the putter grip you can see, and then I show you a one from before down the line. In this image here, you can't even see the top of the grip. I'm completely covering the club. Both hands are over the top of the grip. And then compared with my after, you can see it's completely different. Now there's so much more room, and the reason is the club is standing more upright and going through my forearms, and as a result my hands have come round the side of the grip instead of over the top, and a lot more daylight is in here. From lower down, the first move now is more down the line of the club, and then gradually coming from the inside, and then coming back from the inside, holding the line for longer, and then going across to the left. As you can see from that putt, it's a lot quieter is probably the word. It's nowhere near as swingy and from out to in and kind of moving around. The first motion isn't straight outside the line and then coming looping back and then way to the left. There's a lot less moving things in the swing. So from above the swing, things to note: the alignment on both my shoulders and my feet stayed good as expected. The head didn't move a lot, but it moved a little bit, but it's not an area that Mike seemed to have any concern about. If it was something that was causing problems in a later lesson, then obviously we'd take a look at it. The putt itself is a lot better. There's no now motion after the ball where I'm coming this way. It seems to be holding more of the line now. If you look at where the ball is travelling, the club is holding a lot more, whereas before it would have come straight from the inside and kind of created that side spin. So if we take a look at the data on the left is my putter data from after the swing. The data on the right is mine before. So essentially the one on the left is the changes, one on the right is just me as I was. So, biggest flip, tendencies, consistencies, things like that, they've all changed. One of the big things is my aim has got a lot better, but my consistency's gone down, which is kind of an exact opposite of what I had. The great thing about this is if I'm aiming better, but a consistency is a problem, all I need to do is drill it. With that being said, consistency is only at 74%. It's not going to take much for me to groove it. I think I felt very comfortable with the setup and the grip and the swing. I think it's just a case of a little bit of practice needed, and that will come together. As you can see, a few of my setups even aimed left, which is a very big contrast from the original, which was everyone was above 2, some even getting closer to 3. On average, 0.6 open at setup, so it's still slightly open. It's a massive change from the 2.4 that I was at setup, so it's not perfect. Obviously 0.000 is perfect, but not everyone would set up at that, but a little bit less than that would be ideal, and obviously consistency would be ideal. Moving into face at impact, it was 1.3 degrees open. I've kind of maintained that. 1.1, it's not great, but this is obviously something that it's a brand new setup, brand new grip, new path, everything's different, so it's going to be different. So it's going to be difficult to change and change everything at once. So I'm fine with that. I can continue with that and keep working on this. And as it gets more consistent and more repetition and more familiar with me, then it will become great. One biggest thing, and probably the biggest change we made, 4.7 degrees right to left, so kind of an over top motion. Now technically it's still over the top, but it's 0.5. So 4.2 degree change in a matter of minutes, essentially. I mean, it was such a massive change for me, and it was a massive difference. I mean, path was so negative on this one, and consistency wasn't even that great. And even with these just subtle changes of grip and stance, path immediately improved, consistency immediately got improved, and it's that tightness into the rib cage. I find it difficult now to allow my arms to wander. My arms feel very connected to my torso, and I'm essentially just twisting about my torso and it's difficult to allow the path to go anywhere other than what is natural. So I was very, very happy with that. Arc. So originally it was going straight on the outside, coming looping under, and then going way left. We've managed to quiet that down a little bit, so it still ever so slightly goes on the outside, but if I'm being really picky, but generally it comes under the target line on every one. And if you compare that to here, where pretty much none of them came under the target line, everyone went outside the target line on first takeaway. Everyone comes under the target line here, and then back into impact. It's coming ever so slightly back from the inside, which is nice. And then I'm holding that target line for longer, as opposed to on almost none of them coming from the inside of the target line, just directly going left and sharply going to the left, which is a great sign. So it's good numbers and good. The thing is, what amazes me is, if this is the results in the lesson, when I start putting my hard work and ethic to it, this can only get better for me. Slight negative, impact obviously fell off, but I have no doubt that will come back. It's just, the one on the right, the impact was very, very good, yes, but that's because that's what I've been doing for 2 years straight, and that is the tendency that I've got. Impact on this, it's not terrible. I can see how it would really quickly be all in the centre. There's only the 3 off-centred strikes. I can see how it'd be very much in the centre very quickly, and I'm looking forward to putting the practice in to get that to there. So apologies if this video ran a little bit long. I wanted to try and get as much content in there for you guys. I absolutely love the putter lesson with Mike Kanski. He's a fantastic coach. I put on Twitter as soon as I got home. I'm glad he told me the price, because I would have paid double, easily double. He's a fantastic coach. One of the most important things when you're picking a coach is the person that you're picking, and Mike was a great coach, so I enjoyed that. I'm really looking forward to putting these things into practice now, grooving them, trying to get that consistency back up, making sure that the path's right, the setup's right. All these things, especially in putting, are second nature, so I need to make this second nature now. Quick look at the kind of putting training aid that I'm using that I've got from Mike Kanski. They're available on Harold Swash's website, or Vizio's website. I can't remember exactly who, but I'll show you now exactly what we're looking at. So it's my putting template recommended by Mike Kanski and the Harold Swash Putting School. Mine's a Arc 15 as recommended by Mike. I had looked at these over Christmas, but I wasn't sure what arc to get. Now, it's very difficult to get an arc unless you know your data. So if you don't know your data, get yourself down, get a coach to look at you. If you can get down to see Mike Kanski, it's well worth the visit. And what I'm working on is stopping myself taking the club this way on the way back, and then looping and going left. So what I am working on is keeping it on line or inside the line on the way back, coming back from the inside, and then holding the target line and coming off. Holding the target line perhaps isn't the correct way of thinking about it, but just making sure that I'm not diving left impact. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a massive learning curve for me. It's something that I've never looked at before in my life. It's a completely new concept to me that this matters so much, especially now at the single figures, and even getting to single figures. This club matters more than anything else in your bag a lot of the time. If you can hit the ball consistently, and you make it to the green and this isn't good, this will kill you. And that's what it's been doing at the minute, I feel, for me. And it's been one of those moments for me with this lesson where I feel I'm going to take another jump again. I'm going to take another step in the right direction. I really feel like this alone is going to help me massively. I'm in a great position now where in my game, which I didn't think I was going to say coming through winter. I've got some great people around me, and Mike Kanski and my putting coach now, Dan Whittaker as my full-time coach, and Natalie Lowe as my fitness coach. I really feel like I've got the best around me. I can't remember the book that it was in, but essentially it was a book that said, in order to be successful, you've got to surround yourself with the right people. And I really feel like I am surrounding myself in the right people now. Got a great team that's working with me, and I really feel like that scratch goal is just getting closer and closer and closer. Now, it's all down to me. I've got to put this into practice. I've got to get this consistency back up now with this new technique. The great thing is I can stand at home watching telly or watching YouTube or doing anything else and practice this over and over and over again. I've got to drill this right. I've got to make it worth its while. And I'm looking forward to a time where I feel confident in my putting, because it's something that I never have felt any confidence in. If you like this video, give it a like. I'm sorry that, like I said, it went a bit too long. Comment down below, have you seen Mike? Are you going to see a Mike? Are you going to see a putting coach? And subscribe. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel. These are the kind of videos I'll be putting out. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, so down the line after all my differences. So as you can see, my grip's completely changed. My club is now standing a lot more upright as opposed to the toe being up like it was in the past. And it just looks a complete